Gianmarco Soresi, how you doing?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I normally I say bad. That's my MO.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to be better. But no, you're good right now. People don't want to hear you say that you're bad all the
You
time.
just open with bad. I'm bad.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a negative person.
Oh, that's so funny.
I've been more positive recently.
You're always
trying to
smiling.
make friends.
You're trying to make friends.
I am.
Oh my God, that's the dorkiest shit I've ever heard.
We were at the
I'm
cellar.
just trying to make friends.
We were at the cellar yesterday. You were there.
I was there.
And I was leaving. I was talking to David Drake about how like I feel I never grew up in a scene. And so I just kind of felt like I came into stand-up I skipped kind of the open mic phase of New York. So I didn't have like friends I came up with.
Yeah.
And I was saying I didn't have a family. And as I was leaving, David was like, hey man, just so you know, you do have family. We're here. And I like had to leave because I was like, oh, that's it was very sweet. I don't know David that well either. And it was like, I was like, wow, you really touched my heart. And then the other comic said something snarky and I was like, okay, good.
Yeah. I'm home. Yeah. Only true family would really bring you up and then bring you right back down. Oh, Gianmarco, where are you from?
I'm from Potomac, Maryland originally.
And you didn't start there?
No. I was an actor in New York. I failed into stand-up comedy, as many
that's fun.
do.
As many do?
As many
Actually,
do.
I would
Canceled
say I did the
or
same.
failed into stand-up comedy.
Yeah. I failed into stand-up comedy.
Right. We talked about it on my podcast, The Downside.
Oh, we sure did. Oh, we plugging them early. Look at that. Doing the plugs right up top. I like it.
I want that video of you beating the dead pig so badly.
Oh, I do have to find it. I did. If you don't remember, podcast listeners, I used to do art, and I used to beat
You
a
still
dead
do
pig.
art, Caitlin.
We'll put it in quotes. Thank you so much. What I did last night was not art. Last night, it was not. It was me berating a poor young boy in the front, being like, "What the fuck are you doing here? Do you know how to make a woman come?" And he's just like, "No." It's very sweet. He was very sweet. I forget his name. Oh, it was Will.
Will.
Shout out to Will. Huh? He was terrified. But the whole time he was just like smiling like a dork.
Was he really young?
He was 21.
He's 21.
No, he was 26. But he looked like he was like just got out of Glee camp.
I have
looked
shows
so young.
where like clearly the people in the audience are underage, and sometimes I'm like, would I get in trouble for the things I'm saying in front of this underage person?
I mean, if their parents are letting them come to a comedy club. I mean, I've done stand up in New York and 14 and 15-year-olds are there. And I'm like, I will not change. I will not change what I'm doing, even though you are sitting in the front row, like just fucking Shirley Temple staring at me.
It would be funny. I think it could be a funny series of like you teaching sex ed, like, but with your style.
Yeah.
In like high school.
Oh, that'd be a fun sketch.
I think it would be.
Oh my goodness. Time to write it.
Or do it for real.
Do it for real.
Do it for real.
Teach kids.
Just teaching, yeah.
Teaching children how to make women
Because that's what
come.
you need. That's what you need in high school. They just talk about, they don't be like, have you made a woman come?
Yeah.
Don't ask an open-ended question.
No.
This is how.
This is how you do it. Mostly starts with listening. Okay? You got to listen to your partner. Oh my God. I was on TikTok today. Don't ask me why, but I was on TikTok today and my niece made a little video. I pray to God her thing is private because she's like gorgeous. She's a teenager now. She's very pretty and she's just like like very much playing. And all the comments are like, "You're gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're everything." And I'm just like, "Put on a sweater." Like I just get so upset.
Good for you. Look out.
Thank you. Yes, but it makes me like I'm like she can't. She doesn't. Just don't look at my TikTok page. Don't watch my TikToks.
Yeah,
my TikToks are filthy. Anyway, but you can really see anything on TikTok. It's terrifying.
You might get removed sometimes. I have to be careful. I was kicked off TikTok once, and I don't even know why. I was.
You were
removed.
ticked off?
I was ticked off.
You were ticked off?
I was ticked off, and they put me back because I found someone who knew someone who knew someone, which is not a good way for these systems to work.
That's so funny.
But I did.
Yeah. What was the joke?
I don't even know. I think it was just a series of like getting in trouble. Like if I say the word Hitler.
How dare you?
I know. Just like Heil. And
nothing offensive.
They have a computer that will hear it and just take off the audio, kick it off. So I'm very careful about like the sex, anything sex related. I usually just don't do it on TikTok at all.
Yeah, that's where I get in trouble is the sex stuff.
Sure.
I make my own captions so that the algorithm doesn't read it. But so it takes a little longer. So I'll get to like 15,000 views and then it'll stop abruptly. And that's because I was like, come, you know. Yeah, you like that? Yeah,
But
Fonzie
some
likes
people
it
get
when I
away-
talk about cum.
There's someone I know on TikTok, and I mean, she's like filthy. Her merch is like clit hoodies.
Oh
and
my
it's,
God. That made
drugs.
me blush.
And, but I once I asked her, I said, how the fuck are you still on this app? And she said, I know someone there who makes it fine. And I'm like, this is crazy.
That's insane.
This is crazy.
Oh my God, I need to know her person. And is she getting a lot of views?
Oh, she's
Doing well?
huge.
Yeah,
She's huge.
like physically. I'm joking.
Thanks for putting me in that one. No, she's not. Stunning, beautiful goddess.
But if you went to Greece, she'd look a little different. She'd be average.
Wait, people didn't hear us talk about that.
No, people didn't hear us.
So that's a callback to something
nothing.
no one knows.
To nothing. But anyway, we were talking about getting dragged on YouTube, which is what I do.
I had someone on, a very attractive woman, and someone commented, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And someone replied, actually in Greece, she's pretty average. And that's the internet for you.
Yeah. They make you feel good, make you feel warm. Anyway, I'll quit comedy. I feel good about it. So you're born in Maryland. What is this? I know your jokes. How accurate are your jokes?
That's a wide-reaching question.
Well, I know your family jokes. Because sometimes people change them because
they're
it's
pretty
family.
accurate. A lot of divorce. Potomac. The one thing I don't talk too much. It's tough to talk about on stage. I mean, it's definitely like my mother and stepfather and my dad had money respectively.
Okay.
Potomac is like the 29th richest zip code in the country, but everyone's miserable. Lack of culture. It's a lot of like politicians, lawyers. My dad's definitely someone who like didn't belong, but made money somehow and live like a rich, poor life back and forth.
Okay.
But miserable, a lot of divorce, a lot of unhappy, rich people, very white, real lack of culture.
Yeah.
Big backyards that no one's using.
Oh, that's
A lot of
sad.
forestry, wasted on me, for sure.
No throw and catch. Nothing.
Yeah, I would go camping in the backyard, but I'd bring a TV that we'd wire to the house. Very.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
me.
God. But I'm doing good. I'm not doing bad anymore. I'm doing good.
Yeah, a lot of drinking. My stepfather was a big wine connoisseur.
Oh, that's what we call alcoholic.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
A wealthy alcoholic. That's fun.
And dad is one of those that like didn't drink and thank God. You know, like people like Trump that doesn't drink and you're like, oh, thank goodness. Like I think something in them knows internally like, oh, I'll be dead soon if I engage in this at all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Good for them.
Good for them. Good for Trump and my father.
Well, no. Yeah. Well, you know what?
Similar figures.
Draw your own conclusions with that one. I don't talk about politics, Gianmarco.
You get
I'm
enough
joking.
mean comments as it is.
I know, right? Like you fucking snowflake. Anyway, I feel good. I feel strong. When was the first time you drank? Were you hip? Were you a cool kid?
Come on. You knew the answer to that one. I definitely
sure did.
Definitely had like I think a degree of that European thing of like 15 maybe we'd have a glass of wine at the dinner table.
Oh.
But the first time I like drank, I found in my dad's cabinet. He had like a liquor cabinet, but never touched. Never touched. And I found the oldest bottle of scotch imaginable. And you have that joke about your fiance.
My fiance.
Drinking NyQuil from the cap,
Yes.
from the thing. And that's me. Whenever I hear that joke, I'm like, oh, me, yeah, I measure the NyQuil for sure.
What do you
and
have,
I'm putting it down because
self-respect?
I know the meniscus is where the point of the liquid is. You know science?
I do know science, but
You know
I can't believe you
meniscus?
go that nerdy.
Well, I'm saying I put it on the table. That's me. That's me.
He
and
will
that's-
not abuse the cough servant.
And that's what I did with the alcohol. I waited till my dad went to sleep. I had one shot. And then I remember in the kitchen walking in a line because I knew that from police videos to see if I could still walk in a line. And didn't really feel anything. The next weekend I was at my dad's, I had 2 shots. Didn't really feel anything. And then the third weekend I had 3. I definitely was feeling something. And then the next day, I was really into caramel frappuccinos at Starbucks at the time, like way too many. And I was in the car with my father, and we had to pull over, and I threw the fuck up because I was hungover from those 3 shots. And that was I was like, okay, that's my limit.
That is so mathematical.
Yeah, I was careful.
What a nerd. Oh my God. And you're all alone the whole time?
I was alone, very much alone. Like I was like, I gotta test this in the lab before I bring it in public.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
And when you were walking in a line on that third one, was it a little wobbly, huh?
A little wobbly, yeah.
Little wobbles.
Yeah, but I also wobble when I walk normally.
Did
Flat
you like?
feet.
Did you feel good though? Or were you like, look, I feel fun.
I enjoyed it. I think like emotionally, I really only like being inebriated when I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't drink a lot. But like I've never.
This podcast is a cry for help. Okay, Gianmarco needs a therapist. He needs some antidepressants.
I need a third therapist, I think is what you mean. But I've never. That's the thing that's prevented me ever from like abusing anything. It's just when I'm in a bad mood, I don't want that thing. It'll make it worse.
Yeah.
So that's like for whatever reason, that's just how I'm built emotionally.
Oh.
My mom, my sisters, they're drinkers.
Yeah.
They like it. My God, my sister in college was wild.
Yeah?
Yeah. She had one of those Everclear. She went to University of Texas.
Ooh.
And there was a concert she went to where she got so fucked up on Everclear in the hospital. She had to go to the hospital, and she thought she was still at the concert. That level of being drunk. Just like, woo,
I respect it.
This place has got beds. What a great venue. But not me, much more reserved. More reserved.
Now, when your parents got divorced, did you stay with your dad or your mom?
I went back and forth, pretty 2-week cycle that would repeat itself.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, no, it was like, I mean, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at my mom's, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at my dad's, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at my mom's, Thursday, Friday, dad's, Saturday, Sunday, mom's. So it kind of split up the weekends, more time at my dad's, but more weekend at my dad's. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they came to that arrangement, but that was dictated my whole life until I was like 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And how far away did they live from each other?
Very close, thankfully.
Yes.
Very close. But it was awful going back and forth. You have to bring, I think it contributed, but I would bring a big duffel bag like filled with like everything.
Yeah.
Like every video game system and action figures and all this shit. And,
oh my God. The real things that love me. Oh my God. Gianmarco, I'm going to hug you after this.
Thank you.
Wow, this is sadder than
it's
I
all
thought
I knew,
it would
though.
be.
At least I didn't know. Like I saw my mom and stepdad get divorced when I was like 18. And definitely better to never know what a functioning family is like.
Oh,
like
yeah?
I just grew up. My parents got divorced when I was a baby, so
Yeah.
I never knew what it was like for them to be together. Mm-hmm. So that's good. I don't know what happiness looks like, so I can't miss it.
Oh,
Nothing to miss.
that's even sadder. Wow, this is really a downward trajectory here. Let's go back to the scotch. Remember when you were drinking that alone? That was happier than what you just said. Very sad. Okay, so did you ever drink in high school with friends? Did you ever bring it out?
Yeah. So I think like I did a camp here at NYU. It was called Cap 21. It was like their musical theater branch of NYU. So I did a 6-week program where I was living in New York. My dad got me like a nice, like I think it was frankly like a bed and breakfast like for 6 weeks. So I had this really nice place in New York that I was staying, going to musical theater camp. And these.
How old are you?
I think 14, 15, I believe was what it was. And some of these kids were New Yorkers. They like went to, there's something here called the Professional Performing Arts School. These were like child actor light, none of them super famous, but like they were, compared to where I grew up, they were wild.
Yeah.
They were doing drugs. No one was really, at my high school, it was pot smokers. There was no cocaine, at least in the circles I ran in. So when I got here, I got a fake ID because I thought, I want to be able to buy alcohol. And it was like, this was before Superbad came out, but it really was like that McLovin. It was Hawaii. It was like, looked fake as fuck. And I got it for $50, $60. I memorized it all. But then I went to go get, in New York, like a gallon of the cheapest vodka. I mean, obvious, a little kid buying the cheapest plastic jug of vodka. And they didn't ask for anything. They just gave it to me. No one gave a fuck. And I don't know if New York's changed, if this was just, I mean, fuck, this was 2002, 2003, but like no one gave a fuck. It was, I never had to use the fake ID in my whole life when I was in New York. And so basically what happened was I had like a party, and I think it was my 15th birthday, and I invited all the kids back to my place, and we had this vodka, and I drank 15 shots of vodka that night.
Jesus.
So like, even though my test ended at 3, I really took a leap. And the things I remember from that night, it was like a wild night. First, these kids, these like New York kids, went to go buy some weed, and I guess they tried to not pay the dealer.
Oh God!
So they run back in my room, and I'm 15. I'm a shy little boy, and they say, "These guys chased us. Look out the window." And across the street, there's these two big motherfuckers staring into my window. So I'm freaking out. I heard they went to my bathroom and did cocaine. And this girl, I remember I was trying to make out, and she was like, give me a massage. I was giving her a massage, and I was like, I'm gonna make out with this girl. And then she threw up all over my bed. I was like, oh my God. It was a nightmare. And then it ended with like me and these two guys. Everyone had left, so it was just me and these two guys.
Been there.
Yeah. What? And I was wasted. I mean, like this is probably one of the only times I've ever like really, truly blacked out.
Uh-huh.
And this was also the day before my dad was going to pick me up from camp to bring me back to Maryland. And the one guy, I can't say their names. So we were wasted.
Call them Ben and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry. So Ben was straight. Mm-hmm. And at these camps, like a lot of guys would start at the camp straight, especially since they came from the Midwest to the South. They would get to camp, and then by the end of camp, they were out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they go back in, and you find it out on Facebook, like, oh, so Kevin's in a relationship with Diane. And you're like, really? Kevin came out to his whole acting class 2 weeks ago, crying. Poor Diane. And so I was there, and so Ben's straight, Jerry was gay. And we're just like talking and hanging out. And then all of a sudden, Ben started undoing my pants.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, Ben, what's going on? And he said, Gianmarco, I'm straight, but I can make you feel amazing. And I could see Jerry at the side like, oh, the last two straights at the same time. And it really was like fuzzy, really fuzzy. Mm-hmm. All I really remember is Ben trying to like give me a blowjob. I mean, there was mouth on, and this is my first blowjob, by the way. And I just remember being like more than flaccid, like an innie. Yeah. Almost like it was just nothing was happening. Yeah. And then I just remember him like getting frustrated and then starting to blow Jerry. Yeah. And I just remember like lying there, pants down, flaccid dick just sitting there, and then just looking at the side and just watching Ben blow Jerry, and just feeling like, God, I'm so lonely. And I woke up the next day, they were gone. And my dad was like calling me because I guess he was there to pick me up, and I was not answering my phone. Yeah. And I had to, my dad has a lot of problems, but this is like where he was cool, where I was able to say to him, I'm so hungover, I cannot move. And I could not move. Mm-hmm. And he like came inside, packed all my shit, was like, why is there cum on the bed? and then I remember like leaving New York, lying on my side in so much pain. Mm-hmm. And I remember like leaving the city and crying, maybe because I was hungover, but also like I was like, I love the city. Yeah. And that was, and I saw both those guys later. Mm-hmm. One was a waiter at a restaurant I was working at, and I didn't ask them about this. I'd like to ask them because one of them I don't know if he still presents a straight or is bi or whatever. But he had like a pretty healthy acting career. Like he started a movie. Really? And I was in the movie theater telling like everyone like he sucked my dick. Couldn't even make me come. But
couldn't even get you hard.
Couldn't even get me hard. But that was definitely the drunkest I've ever been in my life. And I still can't really drink vodka. I feel like I have an attachment to how hungover I was. It tastes like just pure poison to me. Yeah.
Always the first alcohol that you get super shit-faced on, you're like, well, I'll never drink that again. Yeah. Did you puke at all?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because I remember I ordered like spaghetti, like someone to bring me spaghetti, and then I threw that up. I mean, I've never felt pain like that in my whole life. 15 shots.
That's too many.
15 shots. And not like now, if I drink like before bed, I have like a big glass of water. And if my girlfriend gets drunk, I'm like, honey, drink this water. I become very Jewish mother.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Once you figure out the key is 2 Advil and a glass of water and then a multivitamin, oh, you're good.
I wish I had drank more. I mean, I drank here and there in college, and I got a little more into pot, but not enough. And now I'm 34, and it is that thing where it's like, if I really tie one on, the next day is shot.
Yeah.
It's starting where you feel it the second day. You're like, I still feel a little.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That's how I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I'm having a great time. I want to keep it going. And then they're like, one more round. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'll have a seltzer, please. Put a little lemon in it. Thank you. Because I can't. It's not worth it the next day to just be dying alone.
Yeah.
Alone. I think that's the name of this podcast, Gianmarco's Alone.
But I want to drink more.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Especially with comics. And
You should have drank the other night.
I'm still like,
You found your
when
family.
I have one drink, yeah, right? When I have one drink, because I talk pretty fast on stage, and like the moment I like fumble a word or like get a little slurry, I go like, you've let yourself go, Gianmarco.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I never drink before sets. And then last night I had that one glass of wine and I was like, you piece of shit. Like and then I spiraled and I was like, oh, it's not worth it. That was a nice reminder. Not worth it to have a glass of wine before a set. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It helped curb my drinking so much because I would get booked so late and I wouldn't drink beforehand. And then at the end, I would have like 1 or 2 and then I'd be like, I'm tired. And then I'd just go to bed. Whereas before, when I was working in a restaurant, it was just like, well, I got to get through the shift, so just start pouring me now.
Yeah.
Because you waited tables?
Not super long. I did mostly in high school. I have a friend who like served for a long time who hates that I have a joke about like waiting tables. Like it makes him furious.
Why?
Because I didn't like do it in New York for years.
Oh yeah.
In high school, one was place called Bambule. It was like a Spanish-speaking restaurant, and then Mimi's, which became Stars, which was the singing restaurant, and that was where
Did you do the singing?
I sang in between. I'd take orders, bring them out, I'd sing a song, go back, check on everything, and that was a real low point.
Why is that a low point?
Well, no, it was fun. It's just like you see, it's a mix of like people like me who are like in high school, and it's like this is kind of cool, and then a mix of like people whose careers have not gone the way that they hoped, and they're about to turn 40 and they're getting scared. And so it's not the nicest of moods.
Yes.
And then people get mad at you and they'd be like, where have you been? And you're like, I was singing a song.
Yeah.
You saw me. That's why I didn't refill the water.
Yeah.
In the middle of Some Enchanted Evening by Rodgers and Hammerstein. Like, are you nuts?
What did you want to be?
I wanted to be a musical theater star. Big time. I mean, that all the programs I went to in high school and college were like musical theater. I went to college for musical theater.
Where'd you go to college?
University of Miami.
Wow.
And this is like, that's why it's so lame. My younger sister went there after me, and she like partied. Miami is a party school.
Yes.
And it was so wasted on me.
Yeah.
So wasted on me. I barely got drunk.
Yeah.
I barely partied. And I wish I had. But my sister's like, she'll send me a picture like, look, this is Snoop Dogg handing me a joint. And I'm like, what the fuck? I went to the beach 3 times.
That's it?
In 4 years at
Oh
the
my
University of Miami.
God.
I was really obsessed with singing. I was like practicing like stupidly 2 hours a day in this tiny room. Like, oh, I'm going to be the greatest singer in the world.
Yeah.
And now I just do that for comedy. And luckily with comedy, if I could like practice comedy like solo, like in a room, I'd be crazy again too. Thank God comedy, you can only really do it at night.
Yeah. Or you just write it, and
Well,
that looks normal. So that's good. You bring your little laptop everywhere.
I know. Some people.
You got to put that away in order to make friends, Gianmarco.
I know. Don't I know it? Don't I know it? I'm trying to find a balance. It is tough.
I'm so glad you're aware. Put that baby away. Let us see those pearly little teeth.
I'm trying. I really am.
You're doing great.
I think I'm doing
great.
better. I'm doing better.
You're doing
That's
better.
for sure.
Yeah. Friday night or the other night was a start. We're getting there. Yeah. Now come be a degenerate with the rest of us.
I'll never forget the first time we met. I feel like we have different accounts. Remember, I've talked about before with you that night at Under St. Mark's.
Oh, what happened?
It was you and Lucas Connolly, and I was like a baby.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were still newish too, but you were in it. So you guys were talking about like Jimmy Kimmel and people who were getting late night sets. And then
I knew nothing.
And then Lucas went out but you know when you're new and you're like everything someone else says, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then Lucas went out and someone was on their phone or something and he was like, what do you do? And they were like, oh, I'm taking notes about like your personality or your persona. And so Lucas fucked with him. And then you went out and you were like, you grilled this woman. and this was a while ago. And then I remember someone saying like, I was backstage, so I'm like, oh my God, she started crying. And I was like, oh my God, Caitlin made her cry. Which is incredible. I mean, yeah.
She basically said, like, I'm taking your jokes. I'm taking your jokes to use for my screenwriting class.
I think she said persona. Like she said, well, no, not the jokes. I'm just your persona or whatever. It was like, it was a dumb person.
It was a person who didn't understand how hard stand-up is and how we're like our persona is our jokes.
Sure.
And like that's like you're taking our character and that's what we're trying to sell.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put it in my thing and then sell it.
Well,
and
don't
I
worry,
was like,
she definitely killed herself that night.
Yeah.
So.
I remember that, and I remember I was like, was I too hard? And then when I left, she was out there and she was crying, and I was like, you just can't do that. You just can't. You have to understand, like this is all we got. You know, this is it. This is.
I don't think I've ever made an audience member. Oh, I did have a woman come up teary-eyed once.
Yeah.
Because I did a DC Sniper that's where I grew up. DC Sniper joke, and I didn't realize until at the end she came. She said, "You know, no one laughed at that joke because you're in Newtown, Connecticut, where the shootings happened, where the Sandy Hook shootings happened."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, right, that's where this was."
Yeah.
And that was the closest. She didn't cry, but she was teary-eyed.
Oh yeah, I have a mass shooter joke too, and I can't do that. I have to wait until it'll be like, all right, how many died in this one this week? Only 4? I could do this joke,
funny.
you know? But if it's like more than 10, oof, I gotta wait.
Yeah.
I gotta wait, baby.
I used to have I would be like, oh, summer's so nice. It's nice to get a vacation from school shootings. And once in a while, it would bomb in just a way where the audience was like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that, dude?
It's so funny. People don't realize that, oh, it's a joke and it's also poignant and like
Yeah.
I'm saying something.
Yeah.
And people are just like, no, you just talked about it and that's offensive. It's
The
like,
Sandy Hook shootings happened when I was doing extra work on Wolf of Wall Street. And I just remember once I tried a joke being like, you know, it happened when I was doing extra work, so it was like an extra hard day for me. And no one dug that. No one dug that at all.
sometimes our genius is just lost on these people. How was that? Wolf of Wall Street? Extra? You a star?
Oh, that was the worst. Extra work is really. Have you ever done extra work?
I did it one time and I
For
vowed
what?
never again.
Yeah.
The Italian movie with The Irishman.
The Irishman.
Yes.
Yes.
I was
we were both on Scorsese movies.
Yes.
He has a lot of extras.
Yeah, he wanted Italian women. And I was like, hello.
Right.
That's me.
It was awful. It was like 400 guys. Like it was just a scene where they're doing a scene and you need the background of all these men in the 70s working.
Yeah.
And we're there for 8 hours. Extras, it's like a mix of people like doing it to make some money, or people that's where I was at the time.
Yeah.
And then there's other people who are like, they think this is a stepping stone on the way to fame. And they would talk about Marty.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, stop calling him Marty. Stop calling him Marty. He does not know you exist. And we're just improvising, if I'm being like maybe at least 100 guys improvising in a big office space.
Yeah.
And so you're just kind of fucking around.
Yeah.
But at some point, Marty, we heard him call cut, and he went to the first AD, second AD, third, fourth AD, guys. Someone walked by frame with a sticky note on their back that said, I have herpes. So let's quit clowning around. It's one of those things where you get a bunch of adults that like, you're not going to respect authority. You're not getting paid a lot.
Yeah.
And so you're going to fuck around. And that moment was fun, but it was just long. Long, boring. I didn't do any of the fun. Everyone's like, what scene? Was it the scene where they did cocaine off the little person's tits? And you're like, no, that wasn't the scene I was in.
Yeah.
The one where we were working.
Yeah.
Fake working. Fake trading
Zero
stocks
joy.
for
Yeah.
no money.
Oh, now if it was the other one, then you'd be like, it was a great experience. I feel like I grew as an actor. I know what it's like. Oh.
But so I've done other drugs.
What have you done?
I like pot. I'm into pot. I did cocaine. The one time I really did cocaine, it was awful. I don't know how people do cocaine. I mean, it's very scary. These people die like this.
And now it's like with fentanyl in it, you do cocaine, you're risking your life.
Yeah. I guess you can get like testing. I thought I would love cocaine. I felt like basically it was this. People were like, cocaine makes you super confident. And I was like, I'm going to love cocaine.
I need cocaine.
I thought like I'd do cocaine and I'd be like, now I can write the screenplay. Like that's what I thought. Mm-hmm. But I think I saw a woman who like we had hooked up once and it was like terrible. But like I was going through a deep dry spell and she asked me, do you want to come over? I have some cocaine. And I was like, I thought you'd do cocaine and you'd like just fuck like fast and you're just like ah. And it's like Wolf of Wall Street, that's what they show it. Like I think it opens with them doing cocaine off like a person's butt and it looks fun.
Yeah.
And all I know, we went to her place and it was like a really nice place. And she wanted to do it off her keys, but I was like, no, we got to do it off a mirror. But the only mirror she had was like a full length like marble mirror. So we nearly dropped it. We barely got it onto like her marble table.
Yeah.
I spread it out. I made little lines with my Chase Travel Rewards card. and we did all these lines. Mm-hmm. And then like we were about to hook up and my heart started beating really fast. Yeah. And so I like Googled, has anyone ever died of cocaine? And it was like lots.
Yeah.
Pages and I didn't even have to go to the second Google page. It was
most of your heroes have died from
most of my heroes. And then I just remember like, and again, it wasn't someone I was, we didn't have great chemistry, but I remember like, again, another story, not very hard at all. And like, I was like, and the cocaine contributes. That's a known thing. But I was like trying. And I just remember there's nothing more humiliating as a man, like putting a condom on like a sort of hard penis. It's like putting like bed sheets on a beanbag. Like it's just, there's nothing to really like hook it.
Nothing grips it. And then you're just like, oh, I'm a kid again.
Yeah. And then you shoehorn it in there. You got to like.
Honestly, as a woman, there's nothing worse than a flaccid penis with a condom barely hanging on, trying to be smushed inside of you.
Just stuffing it in.
Just trying to come on. Yeah. That's awful. It's humiliating for everybody.
A terrible sex.
I feel like that's the second name of this podcast is Gianmarco's lonely and his dick is soft.
Dick is soft. So
both instances not your fault, I would say.
Yeah.
Tell the viewers you get hard. Tell them.
I get hard.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you.
So cocaine, I'd like to do it for real, but I'm too scared about my heart.
Yeah.
I'm just too scared.
It's not worth it.
I definitely like, my girlfriend is dying for me to do shrooms.
Yes.
Like begging me to do shrooms. And everyone tells me, do shrooms. Mm-hmm. I just get scared. Like sometimes when I get stoned, when I know I've like hit a good amount of, I always have a dip where I think about like dying. Mm-hmm. And then once I get past that, it's a great time.
Yeah.
But like I'm just scared with mushrooms just having like just a deep.
Yeah.
And I think there's also a thing of like, if I do shrooms or like LSD or something like that, I think in my mind, as like a very skeptical person, I'm like, I want to have a religious experience that makes me feel okay about dying someday. And if I don't have that, I will be really bummed. And so like part of me is like, I don't want to not have that because then I'll be really sad. I want to be like, oh, someday I'll do shrooms and I'll see God and then I'll be fine.
Man, that's a tall order for shrooms. Mm-hmm. You're putting those up on a pedestal.
Don't I know
I better see God.
Don't I know
If I don't see God, it's a waste of time.
I don't want to become a tree.
You don't need to be a tree. You're not a tree. I actually got tipped in shrooms once.
Really?
Yeah, someone came to a show, and I give out stickers at the end, and it's donation-based. And she was like, I don't have any money, but I have shrooms. And I was like, I'll take them. So she gave me these little caplets.
Did you take them?
I took them once, and they were great.
Here's again, this is the thing. So I did a show in DC and this someone I went to high school with, not a friend, but she was like, do you want shrooms? I was like, maybe. And she this is how pathetic I am. She put them in my merch bag. She like slid them in like 2 because I said, oh, my girlfriend will want them too. So she slid 2. Then she went off and then she came back. She was like, so that'll be $80. And I gave her $80 for these shrooms I didn't really want. And then the moment I got back, I told my girlfriend I got shrooms. She was so excited. And I was like, yeah, but like, I don't really trust the source. So I just still have 2 bags of shrooms that I have not eaten. I'm terrified. I think, somehow there's going to be fentanyl in shrooms. And I
there's
have
no
those
way
shrooms.
there's fentanyl in shrooms.
But it's just like, I'm like, I don't know this person. I don't know.
I know. I'm too trusting. I was like, this lady's nice. She lives in Alameda. This is nice. It's a nice town. And then we took them and they were fine.
But some mushrooms will kill you right away. And my girlfriend's like, why would she?
Did you Google that too?
Why would she give you those? Like, what's her business plan? She's just gonna kill everyone she gives shrooms to. And I'm like, maybe
it's true. Did you get her information?
What do you mean her information?
Her Insta?
Yeah, but like
that's good.
But just to check, these aren't the ones that kill you, right? You gave me the good ones.
Well, you can just see.
And then I'm like, do they go bad? Because I've had them since 2021.
I don't know. Do they go bad? Fonzie, you look like you know. It should be fine. Fonzie, his little short shorts, is letting us know that shrooms are okay.
Does Steven do shrooms? Do you say his name on here? Yeah.
Yeah, Steven. Big Dick Steve.
Big Dick Steve. He does shrooms.
Very hard. Never soft.
Never soft. That is a nightmare. Always hard.
Always hard when you need him to be.
Always hard. Good for him. Good for him.
How old is he? Young. He's 29, 30. He's 30.
Yeah. Give it a couple years.
I know. I'm just waiting. I was like, honey, let's not cultivate this drinking habit, okay?
That's definitely a thing where like the age where you start like using Viagra or stuff, because people die of heart attacks from that shit too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You seem like a real doomsday fella. Everything is like, and then I could die from that, and then I might die from that, and then I almost died from that.
I'd rather be soft and alive.
No, you would not. There's no way you would rather be soft and alive
than dead and hard,
or just like
yes,
you would.
I do. In fact, I do. I disagree. I wagered that I would.
Okay. Would you like to live until you're 50, but get hard whenever you want to get hard, or live until you're 90 and never get hard?
You know the answer. I want to be alive. I want to be alive.
But you can't have sex.
I'll be okay. I'd rather be alive than yeah.
You would never have an orgasm. Never have children.
Okay. I'll go back to you. Yeah, children. You thought that was going to be the fucking switch for me? All right. You can either continue to have sex, but only live 5 more years. 5 more years. Or sewed shut.
Sewed shut?
But
Jesus
or
Christ.
just you wake up one day and it's like Barbie. It's just like there's nothing.
Okay.
And live until however long you want.
However long I want.
Yeah.
See, but I would
5 years?
Okay, 5 years is not enough. I gave you 50. That means double your life pretty much.
You'd rather die at 50 than live to 90 and not have sex again?
I'd probably die at 65. I'd be okay with that.
All right. Well, if we find someone who makes this wager somehow,
I got knocked on
if God
wood.
came back and
I do
that's
not
like
want to
what
die
he
at
did
65.
for everybody, God comes back and he's God. Do you have any messages? No, but I do have an offer.
Yeah.
65.
I always used to think that, like if I was a kid, like I have all these shortcomings, and I was like, what if as a kid, I was like talking to God, I would be like, yeah, I don't want to have kids. I want to be a clown until I'm 40, and now I'm like 35, and I'm just like, I need to have kids. I don't know if I can have kids. I was like, well, 10-year-old Caitlin said she'd rather be a clown. Yeah. I want kids, but they don't have to come from my body.
Are you saying you adopt?
Yeah, I'd adopt.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Takes the pressure off the old ovaries. Huh? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
Do you want
sweet.
kids?
I don't know. I really don't know. I like kids for sure. Like I'm definitely like a kid person. Like if I'm going to a friend's house with kids, I'm not hanging out with the friend. I'm hanging out with their kids. And we're playing Polly Princess or whatever the shit.
Getting weirder and weirder, kiddo.
Yeah, it's always weird. Every time I say like I like kids, I just feel like I feel like as a man, it just feels like this is gonna. I always like don't misinterpret me.
Yeah.
But like pedophiles don't go around being like, I like kids.
Yeah.
They're probably like, I'm not really into kids.
Yeah.
I'll babysit them, fine.
Yeah. But you're welcome.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes, I will ruin their lives. Don't say that in Newtown, Connecticut. All right. I'm joking. I'm sorry. Can we cut that out? All right. Okay, so we're running around the bend here. This is when I like to ask if there are any stories we did not get to.
Let's see. Drinking. I got stoned with my girlfriend in college, and we hooked up, and she was on top, and I remember being like, "Oh my God, is she squirting?" And then I felt the volume of the squirt, and I said, "Nope, she is just full on peeing, full on peeing." And I think what I remember the most is that I'm not good with that kind of stuff. I'm not good with like bodily fluids.
Who is?
But I knew in that moment, I was like, this is very embarrassing for her. And I like clicked into this thing. I was like, oh, looks like a little pee. Oh, all right, let's just get all the bed sheets and get it in like you're about to run away from home with the stick, but it's just dripping. And I was so mature in that moment because inside I was like, oh my God, no, oh, I'll never. And I was never hard again. So
She just peed on you?
yeah, she told me that she thought like she was just like something was feeling like a release.
Oh,
There was a release,
yeah.
and she just leaned into the release. And I mean,
yeah. What a release.
My God.
I mean, also when you're so that's like between 19 and 21 is college, right? And so at that age, women don't really know what coming is. It's just like it's happened like twice on accident with your high school sweetheart, and you're like, ah.
So I had this all these stories about me not getting hard, but I also I'm not gonna come on the podcast and be like, this one time I was railing a chick. I was so hard. I was hard from beginning to end.
Also, it'd be crazy because this is a podcast about drunk stories. You're like, so
true.
my dick is hard. I have a hard dick.
But speaking about the first woman I had sex with in college, I was not her first. Yeah, she was my first. I was not her first. And I was coming too fast, just way too fast. And like to try to motivate me, she said, she was like, when I'm on top, I can come 3 times in a row. And I remember being like, not the thing I need to hear. Like, I don't know who you thought this would motivate, but like shame.
Motivate
it's
how?
not like I need some more shame. That's what would keep me going. And I remember once I asked her, and I think I was correct, but she was talking. I was hearing like I was starting to learn about sex, or you hear how it goes, and she would always say that she like came or whatever. And I once said like, "Are you sure you're coming?" Because it was one of these things like it wasn't. And looking back at it, I'm like, I think it was like maybe a moment of feeling really good, but it wasn't like a whole kind of arc of a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a
progression.
progression.
And I remember I just learned an important lesson as a man in that moment where she was like, "Do you just ask me, do I know if I'm coming?" And I was like, "You're right. I should shut the fuck up." But looking back, I was right. There's no way. There's no way. Because there's no way I ever made this woman come. There's no fucking chance. There's no chance. No chance.
Well, at least your dick was hard.
Yeah. You
might have. You could probably reach out to her now and ask.
No, you know what happened was I went to, we broke up. It ended like, it wasn't great. She definitely like fell out of love with me, and then like occasionally would want to hook up. And I mean I was hurt by the whole thing. But then I went to college. I did a Caroline's comedy class one summer at Caroline's Comedy Club, and then I went back to school and I did like an hour. Just like I just had it was mostly sex. It was I did the pee story. I did the being peed on story.
Yeah.
Just act outs, like just sex act outs. Like it was like your act.
What did
now.
that be?
And
oh, you better watch it. You better watch it, buddy.
So I did a bit about I talked about her, and I didn't say anyone's name, and it was mostly about me.
Yeah.
But, I was talking about sex, and she, like, I put it on, like, YouTube, and she found it, and she was pissed, and her brother said he was going to beat me up if he ever saw me. And then she wrote another girlfriend I had in high school and was like, he's doing this bit. And the bit I had about her was, like, the first time I went down on a woman, and it was mean. It was, it was early stand-up.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think the thing I said is like something about her, finding her clit was like finding a pimple in a truck driver's armpit. Early stand-up. Early stand-up. But then like, and I thought like I disguised it because she was a Russian foreign exchange student. I made her a German foreign exchange student.
Oh, obviously.
This is just early figuring things out.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that ex is like down for me to.
Yeah.
Hey, did you come?
Yeah.
Do you remember if you came?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
No, you better. Well, that'll just be a mystery for everybody. Well, Gianmarco, I think we learned a lot about your limp dick ways. But it was very fun. Thank you for coming on. Where can people find you?
Find me everywhere online at Gianmarco Soresi. I'm touring a bunch, and listen to my podcast, The Downside.
Yeah. I was on it. It was very fun. It's a very small, intimate studio.
Yeah.
We got to know each other. It was very exciting. Well, thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you.